In May 2026, the Sunday Times Rich List made an announcement that surprised almost nobody, and yet somehow surprised everyone. David Beckham, the former Manchester United and England midfielder, the man who once got sent off in a World Cup and was burned in effigy on the streets of England, had become Britain's first billionaire sportsman. Combined with Victoria, their net worth was listed at one point £185 billion, roughly $1.6 billion. The timing was perfect. The 2026 World Cup was underway in North America. Beckham's face was everywhere. 11 brands had hired him simultaneously for the tournament. He was getting more screen time than half the actual players, and the world assumed the World Cup had made him a billionaire. Here is the truth. The World Cup didn't make David Beckham a billionaire. Lionel Messi did. And the World Cup made him $25 million richer in a single month, while making sure everyone was watching when the headline landed. This is the story of the most perfectly timed billionaire announcement in the history of sport, and what it tells us about how wealth is really built in modern football. Let's start with the number everyone is talking about. $25 million in 1 month. 11 brands all signed Beckham simultaneously for the 2026 World Cup. Adidas, Bank of America, EA Sports, Home Depot, Layers, Lenovo, McDonald's, Ninja Kitchen, Pepsi, Stella Artois, and Verizon. Each deal negotiated with category exclusivity, meaning no competitor brand could sign a rival ambassador in that space. Beckham owned the category outright for each one. The result? During World Cup broadcasts, Beckham appeared in advertisements so frequently that commentators coined a term for it: the vampire effect. People remembered Beckham, not the product. He reportedly received more screen time than half the players actually competing in the tournament. Design and branding analysts at Design Rush asked the obvious question: why did 11 World Cup brands all pick the same man? The answer is deceptively simple. Beckham works in every market simultaneously. He is credible in football. He is aspirational in fashion. He is trusted in the United States after his LA Galaxy years. He has crossover appeal in Asia from his time at Real Madrid and his cultural presence in China. He is British enough for European advertisers and global enough for American ones. No active player can do all of that at once. Active players are still playing. They can be injured. They can underperform. They can be caught in controversy. Beckham has none of those risks. He is a finished product, a brand that has been road-tested across 30 years and 4 continents. And in the summer of 2026, 11 brands paid $25 million collectively to rent him for a month. But here is where the story gets genuinely interesting, because $25 million, extraordinary as it is not what made David Beckham a billionaire. That was Lionel Messi. Cast your mind back to 2007. David Beckham signed for the LA Galaxy. Buried in that contract was a clause that almost nobody noticed at the time: an option to purchase an MLS expansion franchise for $25 million. That option had a time limit: use it or lose it. In 2018, Beckham exercised it. He paid $25 million for the right to create Inter Miami CF, a new Major League Soccer franchise based in Miami, playing in pink, with an alligator as a logo. The football world was politely skeptical. Then in July 2023, Inter Miami signed Lionel Messi. Everything changed. Inter Miami's valuation in 2023 was $585 million. By 2026, it had climbed to between $1.35 and $1.45 billion, a rise of over 140% in 3 years, making it the most valuable franchise in Major League Soccer history. Beckham holds a 26% stake in the club. That stake is now worth over $300 million. Let that calculation sink in for a moment. Beckham paid $25 million for his MLS option in 2007. He exercised it 11 years later. 3 years after that, Messi arrived. And Beckham's stake grew by over $300 million. The return on that original $25 million investment is somewhere in the region of 1,200%. It is one of the greatest sports business moves of the last 20 years, and it was hidden in a footnote of a contract signed 19 years ago. Now here is the nuance that most coverage of this story is missing. The 2026 World Cup did not cause this. MLS Commissioner Don Garber said on record, and this is a direct quote, "MLS would have continued to grow without the World Cup and will continue to grow after the World Cup." The Messi effect on Inter Miami's valuation happened in 2023, 3 years before the World Cup. The club's rise to $1.45 billion was driven by Messi's arrival, his performances, his social media following, his global brand, and the commercial infrastructure that Inter Miami built around him. What the World Cup did was something different, and arguably more valuable. It provided perfect timing. Miami hosted 7 World Cup matches at Hard Rock Stadium. The city was the center of global football attention for an entire month. Every broadcast, every newspaper, every social media feed was saturated with football. And David Beckham, as the face of 11 different brands simultaneously, was impossible to escape. The Sunday Times Rich List announcement landed in May 2026, just before the tournament began, at the exact moment when the world's attention was turning to football in North America, to Miami, to Inter Miami, to Beckham. The World Cup didn't make him a billionaire. It made sure everyone was watching when he became one. There is a lesson here that goes beyond David Beckham, and it is one that Pitch Deck Report was made to cover. In modern sport, the biggest fortunes are not built on salaries or prize money or even sponsorship deals. They are built on equity. Beckham earned extraordinary money throughout his playing career. Real Madrid, Manchester United, LA Galaxy, AC Milan, Paris Saint-Germain. His playing income across 20 years was significant, but the number that made him a billionaire was $25 million, paid in 2007 for an option in a contract that most people forgot existed. MLS. Commissioner Don Garber has said that Beckham's Inter Miami option, struck in 2007, was one of the best deals in the history of American sport. He is not wrong. And here is the final number, the one you stayed for. In 2026, David Beckham's wealth breaks down roughly like this. Inter Miami stake, over $300 million. World Cup endorsement deals, $25 million in 1 month. DB Ventures, his brand licensing and fragrance business, estimated at over $100 million. Victoria Beckham fashion label, estimated at around $100 million. Property portfolio and other investments, estimated at over $200 million. Total, approximately $1.6 billion. The World Cup contributed $25 million of that $1.6 billion. Messi contributed $300 million via a contract clause signed 19 years before Messi ever set foot in Miami. The morale of the story? In football, as in business, the best deals are the ones people forget about. Until suddenly, they can't. Subscribe to Pitch Deck Report. New video every week. The business behind the beautiful game.